Hi all, welcome back. It's Laura at Hyperstamper. Really excited to show you this beautiful 1800s book that I've now made into a junk journal. This one is from about 1890, inscribed in 1892, and it's Macaria. It's a beautiful book from the Pansy series. I've had lots of Pansy series books, and each one just is gobsmackingly beautiful. I love the little butterfly that's on each of them. It's got a worn spine, still intact though, completely. It's still got the pansies, and even on the back. And what's wonderful is it has this wonderful W.L. and Company, which is Ward and Lock and Company, the publisher. It's just really sweet, and I imagine that back in the day, somebody had an antique quill and pen like this wooden one here, and they would have written that beautiful inscription inside of it. Isn't that beautiful? Now, this is a Victorian book, and the way you can tell is Queen Victoria. This fell out of a book that I acquired, that I actually got in a thrift store. Somebody obviously didn't know it was in there. And it's called a mourning ribbon, and it would have been pinned on people when Queen Victoria died. So she was born May 24th, which we here in Canada, and I believe the Commonwealth still celebrate it. It's Victoria Day. And she died January 26, 1901. So that is the Victorian era, 1819 to 1901. And this is then a Victorian book. After 1901, it's the Edwardian era, when King Edward came into reign. So look at this first page of this beautiful Victorian book. Is a beautiful Victorian advertisement. Fries cocoa. I still have some Fries cocoa in my cupboard. I kid you not. Pretty sure it might even be from 1892. I just keep moving with it. But it's adorable. Some of the books had advertisements in them. It's really not common. You'll also see there's one at the back, Pears soap. And we still have Pears soap to this day. This just makes me so happy. So just a little bonus. I just wanted to give you some history along with this. So we've got Mrs. Wotton there owned this book, and so did Mrs. E.A. Bedford. Look at that. And then this is another of the advertisements that was in the front, and it was not intact, so I added it and made it a little pop out. Got some more advertisements here, and then this little pocket here from a vintage book, I put in this beautiful piece. It looks like somebody along the way cut off the top of this postcard, and I just wanted this beautiful little pansy flower with this beautiful little statement here: we will walk in the name of the Lord our God forever and ever. So the reason I chose it is to match the pansies on the front. Isn't that wonderful? And thank you again to Paige for gifting me that beautiful card. And you can tell that somebody loved it so much they put it in a scrapbook, which was also very common. They were like little treasures, like gifts. And then we have a early 1900s Birds of America page here. That's a beautiful curlew, and a vintage ledger page, vintage Monopoly money. You can journal on the back of that. And here's just a vintage button card, and I love the little pinholes in here, and I wonder why they did that. Still got the little buttons here attached with wire, so I just think that's really cool. And that pocket from an antique book is the Promise of Dreams page. There's another one of these wonderful early 1900s handwritten transcript pages. And then this here, oh, I have to add a ribbon to this. I will remember to add a ribbon to this tag that I made out of this beautiful antique book page. Is that fun? And this is a vintage Birds of America page there, pocket. And this is another one of these beautiful, this particular Stickum book is from 1940, and it's Our Beautiful Home. And some child cut these all out and pasted them in the right place. What a good job they did. And I've got three things here. Let me see. I have overstuffed this journal, I know, and I think it's okay. I don't think anybody will argue. I just love this image of this beautiful young lady here, and then there's some really fun stories, and that is from 1913. This one here is from the 50s, and that is Doilies to Treasure. Great. Printed in the USA, and I added antique paper to the back so you could journal on it. And this is really beautiful. For the longest time, I thought it was hand painted, and I honest to God still can't tell if it was or not. I don't think it was because it is on a postcard and from here, 1943. So how cool is that? I love it. So I think it's a real treasure myself. So you get those, all that on one page. And then over here is another one of Page's beautiful old letters. Now this one, also Victorian from 1899. Woohoo, June 21, 1899. Just amazing. I don't often get envelopes from the 1800s, so this was really special. It had no top or bottom on it, so I made it a wraparound. And in here I put a couple of early 1900s recipes, 2 pages of those. Look at the old stamp in there, the American stamp. This went to somebody in, I want to say Colorado. I think it's Colorado. And over here, again, we've got the postal stamps there, 1899. And then over here, I've got this beautiful little antique book page here, also from the 1800s. So I got a sort of 1800s theme going here for part of this journal. And then I pulled this out of an antique book, and the chapter is old letters. So I put it here with this old letter. It's so much fun with this. Oh, this is another one of Paige's gifts. There's a lot of them. Thank you, Paige. This is a really cool Milmar Foods coupon. And this would have been given away kind of as a promotional thing. So they would have given them away as raffle prizes and community events. And each book contained about $10 or $20 worth of these little coupons that they could use one at a time. Because I did research on those. It was really fun. There's an antique American postage stamp here. And this is a beautiful early 1900s poem called The Laughing Song, which is right up my alley. Another little poem here, vintage botanical page. This is just a really cool first page of a book, antique book. Love the foxing on the back and the discolorations. And of course, the pocket I made out of the first chapter page of this book. And then up here is just one of my little mini booklets of cut-off papers, so you can journal inside there as well. There we go. And there's more of that 1950s. Oh, I have one of these muffin cozies, by the way. They're really cool. Who knew muffins could be cozy? That's from the 50s. There is which one? Oh yes, this is also early 1900s. Probably Edwardian, and that is a plate there, some horses, which we all love. And this is just a really wonderful vintage children's book, 2-sided for journaling. And then gotta have this. I haven't put these in a journal in a few days, and that is a 1950s original bingo card. And really, this is a part of a book cover. Oh, I love this little teeny tiny little price tag I pulled off of a vintage sewing piece, Anderson's, 75 cents. And then there is a receipt with the carbon paper intact. So it's two actually sides to that. And that is from the 70s. So vintage. And this is another interior page. Fun vintage book page with journaling space on the back. And look at this. This is exquisite. This is awesome. So we've got the East Coast of Canada and America. And Atlantic Ocean. And it's a reverse negative, so it's black with the color of the page left behind as sort of the white rather than the opposite way around. And I think it's stunning, and I think it's frameable, and I love it. So I hope whoever owns this journal loves it as much as I do. There's a plate from 1904. And this is also a very early, this is Edwardian. It's very early because God Save the King would have been for King Edward, not likely King George. That would have been King Edward, I can tell by the font. And then we have another 1930s children's book page there. And this is a hand-typed research paper, 1886. And play and laughter, more playing and more laughter. And this wonderful photograph here from 1947, the Detroit Zoo. Wouldn't it be fun if that was still there? I've never been to the Detroit Zoo. And then in here, we've got a 1968 payday card. You can have lots of fun upcycling that. And then letter L is for, drumroll please, lion. Isn't that great? Great vintage find, that little deck. I'm almost out of them, and I'm sad. This is from the 1890s as well, back to our 1800s theme, a woman's hand. And then this is so cool. This is from the 1940s, I want to say, and they wrote their message in, 1943, they wrote their message inside, and you can see the acetate here as part of this beautiful design. So it just gave it this shininess. Look at that beautiful flower inside there. Can you see that? And who knew that they even had acetate in 1943? So that's a wartime card and letter, which is wonderful, and have fun reading that wonderful letter. Here is a great plate from 1887. There's another one coming up from the same year, and that is the Falls of Montmorency. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Look at the women, how they're dressed, and the men in long, long dresses and hoops. The Moth and the Star, antique book page here. Another 1959 nature book for the mix and match for the children. Love it. And then we've got another envelope here, and that one is from the 40s. This is also wartime, and this would have been to send watch parts to a watchmaker. But look at these great stamps. They're amazing. I've not seen them before, so I was really happy to find them. And this is a vintage hanky that is hand embroidered. Lots of hand embroidered. And I think these might be cactuses. I can't tell. I'll be honest with you, I can't tell. So you can pretend it's any design you want, because if you own this journal, it's yours to do with whatever you like. It's a 1950 plate here, really neat. And more children's vintage pages. And this is the first page of Now We Are Six by A.E. Milne, who is, of course, the writer of Winnie the Pooh books. 1925, exactly 100 years old. And here is the best page from this book I've been telling you about. Nothing says much about a woman as her table. Seriously? But look at this 1920s. Typical with her frock on. It is absolutely exquisite. This is a beautiful, beautiful piece. I love it. And that's original, of course. Also from 1925, I got a lot of 1925 pieces in here, 3 in a row. The Winnie the Pooh, this one, and this one, all 1925. So, and no need to tell you what that is, from a children's workbook, practicing cursive writing and counting, I guess. And then this is also from the 1890s, an arithmetic book. I put antique paper on the back for journaling. Got some vintage pattern tissue here. I've got this lovely 1800s children's book page again there. The Hare and the Tortoise. And not as old here, but still beautiful, is this early 1900s Beatrix Potter. And somebody along the last 100 and so years has tried to keep it together by adding this tape, which meant it was loved very much by the children who read it. They wore it down. And there's that beautiful luncheon tables, formal and informal. And yeah, it's really cool. I just think they're so great. And look at this beautiful little poem on solitude by A.E. Milne, King John's Christmas. And then this pretty little double-sided plate here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And I have another one here, just the end page of this book. Okay, so you can do a little bit of journaling here, but you have to have the end page, right? And that is the end. So I hope you love it as much as I loved making it. You can find this in my Etsy shop, hyperstamper.etsy.com. And don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment. Bye for now.